Lewis Hamilton's move to Ferrari isn't all it's cracked up to be. He hasn't even finished packing his bags for Maranello, and he's already being told that changing to Scarlet Red is only going to hurt both his new team and his legacy. Here's how. Ferrari is being bombarded with calls to reconsider their deal with Lewis Hamilton following surprising remarks from the seven-time Formula One champion. In a move that stunned the F1 world, Hamilton and Ferrari announced their partnership for 2025 and beyond ahead of the 2024 season, marking the biggest move in the sports landscape. Hamilton's season has been a rollercoaster ride so far, claiming thrilling victories at Silverstone and Spa, but enduring lackluster performances in other races, leaving fans and critics divided. Lewis Hamilton's frustrations boiled over after last month's Brazilian Grand Prix, with the seven-time champion confessing he was ready to walk away from the remainder of the season due to his struggles with the car. The disappointment lingered into the Qatar Grand Prix, where Hamilton dropped a bombshell during a tough qualifying session, admitting he felt just slow and definitely not fast anymore. His remarks sent shockwaves through the paddock and drew a fiery response from former F1 team boss Eddie Jordan. Speaking on the Formula for Success podcast, Jordan delivered a stern message to the iconic driver, urging him to reassess his mindset and performance. If you don't believe 100%, do you understand that? Because belief, 99.9%, means that there is that tiny, little thing in there knocking on your head that gives you the things that maybe, oh, I don't really have that confidence. I don't really have the ability. And at the moment, what I heard from Lewis, I'm not fast enough anymore, they were the words, I think. Jordan didn't hold back, even suggesting that Hamilton should consider retirement. He went further, advising Ferrari to explore ways to back out of their contract with the seven-time world champion. Honestly, if I was Ferrari, I would say close the book, find the way out. That's it, Jordan added. I think also, if it's a little message to you, Lewis, if you're out there, always remember in life, you've got your music, you've got your fashion, you've got all sorts of other things. You are, in most people's view, the greatest driver of all time. Please remember what I'm going to say to you. Always think about the best exit. And this is the time to take the money off the table. Go. Nico Rosberg also issued a cautionary message to Lewis Hamilton ahead of his high-profile switch, warning that it could be quite a painful adventure. Rosberg, who claimed the 2016 World Championship while racing alongside Hamilton at Mercedes, was asked about his former teammate's upcoming move to Scuderia Ferrari. Speaking on the Sky Sports F1 podcast, he said, "Where is he at the moment? He is at a place where he is saying to himself, I am not fast anymore. That is where he is at. And that is really singled out to qualifying. The problem with our sport is that if you do not qualify high up, you really struggle. Even though he still seems to be at his very best with his race pace, we've seen over and over again that his race pace is insanely strong. But when you qualify poorly all the time and he says that he is not quick enough in qualifying, that is something that is weighing on his shoulders so much at the end of the year." Hamilton's struggles with qualifying were a significant issue in 2024, as he was outqualified by teammate George Russell 19 times out of 24, and only managed to qualify ahead of Russell once in the 6 sprint races. With this form, Nico Rosberg believes Hamilton will have cause for concern if these performance issues persist into next season. When you get beaten all the time by your teammate, especially when you're statistically the greatest of all time, then that's really tough, especially when you're going forward and having 2 years at Ferrari. He will 100% be very worried. What if this form of mine continues? Was it just the car at Mercedes, or was it something else? What if this form continues at Ferrari? If it does, it would really be quite a painful adventure, I would say. That is not what Ferrari hired him for. Ferrari hired him to be on a level with Leclerc and fight for world championships. I think he will be very worried about that. And we can only hope that he gets back to his good old self with a reset at Ferrari and is once again the brilliant driver we know, Rosberg concluded. In the meantime, Lewis Hamilton has officially kicked off his Mercedes farewell tour, starting with a visit to Kuala Lumpur to meet the team's title sponsors one last time. Fresh off his final race with the Silver Arrows on Sunday, the 7-time world champion is making stops with Mercedes' key stakeholders before transitioning to his new role at Ferrari. In a mutual agreement between Hamilton and Mercedes, the Briton will not be released early from his contract to participate in Ferrari's post-season testing in Abu Dhabi. Instead, Charles and Arthur Leclerc, along with Antonio Fuoco, will handle testing duties at Yas Marina on Tuesday. Hamilton previously downplayed the idea of debuting for Ferrari in Abu Dhabi, stating it didn't excite me, though he acknowledged feeling he'd be missing something by not running a day in red. Instead, he'll gear up for a full integration with his new team when the 2025 season preparations begin. While Ferrari conducted post-season testing in his absence, Hamilton made an emotional stop in Malaysia, addressing over 1,000 Petronas employees for the last time as a Mercedes driver. Next, Hamilton will continue his farewell journey with visits to Mercedes' headquarters in Stuttgart, followed by the team's factories in Brackley and Brixworth, to bid a final goodbye before embarking on his next chapter. I remember the first time I came to Petronas' Twin Towers in Kuala Lumpur after seeing it in movies, and I couldn't believe I was here and got to work with an organisation like this, Hamilton said. To be part of a partnership between our team and Petronas that has been so successful, one of the greatest in the history of the sport, is something I am so proud of. We've achieved so much more than we ever thought were possible. These 12 years are something I will never forget. And through the highs and the lows, it is always felt that we are a family. To come here for the last time as a Mercedes driver has brought up a lot of emotions. It is obviously sad in one respect, but also beautiful to be able to celebrate everything we've done together with our Petronas colleagues and the Malaysian fans. It is always so humbling to come here and see the support. It has grown over time, and I've been thrilled to help with some of the amazing work Petronas has done in the community. We've planted mangroves, supported the growth of their university, inspired kids into STEAM subjects, and so much more. I want to say a big thank you to Petronas for everything we have done together. They're incredible products that have helped us to victory on track, and all the amazing people I've got to work with. I will miss you all. During his time with the Silver Arrows, he clinched 6 more World Championships and broke Michael Schumacher's record for wins. While many still argue that 2021 should have marked his 8th title, that saga remains a chapter of its own. Sadly, 2024 hasn't been kind to Hamilton, and his farewell season has ended on a less than ideal note. While it marks the close of an era, it's not the end of Hamilton's F1 journey. Following his final race with Mercedes, team boss Toto Wolff shared his thoughts on the legendary driver's departure. Despite the challenges of the ground effect era, Lewis Hamilton and his team principals share a deep mutual respect. So, when Hamilton crossed the line in 4th place at the 2024 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, Wolff made sure to send him a heartfelt message. During the cool-down lap, Wolff praised Hamilton, calling it the drive of a champion, and expressed how incredibly proud he was of his driver. Even Hamilton's longtime race engineer, Peter Bono Bonington, couldn't hold back his emotions. On the radio, Hamilton reflected on the race with a smile, saying he had fun, while Bono wished him well. Then, it was Wolff's turn. He acknowledged the tough fall from grace Mercedes had experienced in recent years. After dominating the first half of the turbo-hybrid era, Mercedes faced defeat at the hands of Max Verstappen in 2021, just as the ground effect era began to take hold. Wolff's words captured the bittersweet end of an era. He said, "We love you too. You're always going to be part of that family. If we can't win, you should win." When questioned about the emotions going through him at this time, now that Sir Lewis has raced his final race for him, here's what he said. "It's been 12 years. It's not only the longest driver-team relationship the sport has ever seen, but one of the longest relationships any sports team has had with a player, and one of the longest relationships personally with a person. Obviously that creates attachment, trust, and those values in this day and age are rare. That's why it's a period of time we will hold close to our hearts, and one of the best periods that I have personally had in the team." In your opinion, how will Lewis Hamilton's Ferrari switch affect his career? Tell us in the comments section down below. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thanks for watching.